Okay, well, welcome to this second in our webinars on food labeling and the relationship to high nature value farming and the potential opportunities there might be in having such labels. We started off last time, if you remember, with Anna Jamieson from Sweden, and this time we're crossing the Baltic to Estonia. And I think it's fair to say that actually there has been a link between the two going back many years now, with the colleagues in WWF Sweden, Ola Jennersten and Sven-Olof Borgegard and all these other colleagues being very active in Estonia when independence was re-established to support high nature value farming systems and to encourage the development of quality food based on semi-natural pastures. So our guest today is Anneli Holm. Before today, I only met Anneli once, actually, which was back in 2011 when Anneli was working in the Environment Agency, and we were discussing in Brussels eligibility rules on pastures, if I remember. And since then, Anneli has done a lot of things, despite still being young. So she was involved in the life project on the Alvars, where there was, I think, there was contacts between our own Patrick McGurn and yourself, I think, at sometimes on that. And since then, she's, along with her business partner, started Muhu Liha, Muhu Meat, Muhu Meat, yes, brand, and latterly has become involved in a quality label, the Western Islands of Estonia, pasture, lamb and beef. So there's plenty to talk about. So I'll hand over to you, Anneli, and we'll come back for questions at the end. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Quinn. I will present to you a PowerPoint I have prepared. I will try to share it with you. Okay, I hope you can see it. Oh, right. Okay. Can you see the slideshow? Yeah, great. So, as Quinn already mentioned, I will talk to you about Muhu Liha, which is in translation Muhu Island meat, and it is a co-op formed by local farmers on Muhu Island. I will show you a map with the neighboring countries. So it's on a smaller western island between Saaremaa and the mainland. And this is where we are working and producing our meat products at the moment. So this is our headquarters here in Muhu Island. And I will tell you about Muhu Liha and also about the quality brand that we have started to create for our meat products, and also how this will have evolved. We are quite young company, so we have just few years active, but it's been very rapid development. So I have quite a lot to talk about. So, but you can ask questions, I think, in the end after the presentation. So I will try to talk first what I think you would be interesting to you, and then you can ask me later if you have any other areas that you want to know about. So this is where we are at the moment, where we are working and where I am at the moment and living. And I will just quickly go over the history why I am in on Muhu Island, because I'm not actually from here. I have moved here from the mainland, and this was mainly because of my work. I started to work in environmental board in 2009, and I was working with heritage. We are now using much more the expression heritage grasslands, not semi-natural grasslands, but it's basically the same thing. But we have now like nationally decided that this is a bit like better expression for this grassland. So I'm going to use this heritage grasslands expression. We have around 60,000 hectares of heritage grasslands in Estonia that are on nature conservation areas. And many of them are in a quite bad condition and they are overgrown. And we have found then different solutions, funding to restore these areas. And in 2014, I started as a project manager for the project Life to Alvars that we also mentioned. And this was a project for Alvar grassland restoration. And we have also had a Swedish partner in that project. And we were quite closely cooperating with Öland and Island and Eije Rosen, I think, yeah, who was a scientist there. And they also visited Estonia a few times to have a look on our restoration process. And this work actually brought me to Muhu Island because I was traveling back and forth from the mainland all the time. And then finally I decided that I had enough and I moved to Muhu Island and I bought a farmhouse here because there was no other type of houses available. So that was the beginning of the sheep raising. So because around the farmhouse there was some land, so I started with around 10 sheep, and as usual then the amount of the sheep was like raising all the time. And by 2017 we were in a point where we wanted to market some of the sheep that we had, but then we realized that there was basically no place we could do that. If you are a small farmer, then it was almost impossible to get any service from the slaughterhouse that was on the other island next to us, on the Saaremaa Island. It was an opportunity to take them to the mainland, but it was very expensive. So we started to I started to contact other farmers, and also we had a group in Life to Alvars project that was called Added Value Products from Grasslands, and there was also some farmers represented there. And in the beginning it was meant in a way that we are discussing what are the opportunities to produce products from the grasslands. We discussed it with experts, we make some suggestions, but it was very clear to us after a few meetings that the main issue was on the islands, the availability of slaughtering service for the farmers. And it was sort of a spin-off from this Life to Alvars project, the idea to form a farmers co-op, because we figured out that this is the main issue with the farmers to actually produce these products from the grasslands. And then in 2020, I started a new project also on Muhu Island, which is again another restoration project, but more focused on connectivity of the grasslands. And by now, we already have 100 ewes and around 40 hectares of grassland to manage. So we are already quite large farmers in Muhu Island. So it's I'm also on both sides, also on the marketing and also on the production side of this meat cycle, or the whole from the beginning until to the consumer. So this is shortly why am I here and why I am doing this. And this is the reason why we started. I already mentioned the Life to Alvars project, and in 2017 we got to the point that 9 farmers got together and we formed the Muhu Liha co-op. It was quite we had to travel all together to Kuressaare for this, which is the bigger city in Saaremaa. So it was quite a joyous occasion. We all went there, the farmers, and went to the officials that then confirmed that we want to form this co-op, and then it was done. And a background for the area that in Muhu and Saaremaa, which is forming like the one county, Muhu and Saaremaa, 10,000 beef cattle and 15,000 sheep. This is like this ewes and mother cows. This is quite big, large proportion of the whole Estonian, which is about 1/3 of the amount of beef and sheep raised in Estonia is grown in Saaremaa county, which is quite large amount. And this is mainly because we have a very high proportion of the land that are heritage grasslands, and mainly these cattle and sheep are raised in these areas. They are grazing there most of the vegetation period, which is from May until September, October, until it's warm, and then they are taken back to the farms for the winter period. So this is quite most of the time the animals are kept on the heritage grasslands because there is quite a shortage of land on these areas. The good areas are used for making hay or growing crops. So usually the heritage grasslands are more like this very thin soil, maybe with rocks on the seaside where you can't grow anything, or where you can't mow hay. So these are the areas that are used for grazing. And usually these areas are extremely species rich. We have very high orchids concentration on these sites, for example, and so on. So it's these are traditionally grazed areas, and they are extremely valuable from the environmental protection side. So this is like 2 things that are best describing this way of raising the animals on these islands. So we figured out that we have many farmers who have a similar problem. They have beef and cattle they are grazing in, and they want to market them. But there are mainly 2 options to do it. You can sell the live animals, and during the autumn in Estonia are coming the buyers, for example, from Poland, the Netherlands, and they bargain with the farmer, but they only take young, for example, with the sheep, they want to have young sheep age 6 to 8 months, and they need to be around 45 kilos live weight. So it's very specific rules for the animals they want to buy. And also with the beef cattle, they want to buy a young animals and specific weight. And many of the local breeds that we are growing here, we have, for example, many farmers, I am myself also growing Gotland sheep, we have this local breed we call Muhu sheep. It is not officially recognized, but it's like our traditional breed here. And these animals are usually quite with a low growth, and they are more suitable for grazing these quite not very productive areas. And they many times during the time when the buyers are coming, they are not meeting the standards that the buyers want at that point. So basically you don't have opportunity to sell your animals to these people who are coming to buy them. And another important part of that is if you are selling the animals to the buyer, then you lose the parts that you would usually keep as well, like for example the skin. For example, if we are talking about the Gotland sheep, that the skin is even more valuable than the actual meat from the animal. So these are the main issues with selling live animals. If you we also figured that selling animals to the slaughterhouse was not very easy because you needed to have a contract with the slaughterhouse, and it was quite difficult to get the contract if you are a small farmer. They would prefer bigger farmers, and it was possibility also to buy the slaughtering service, but which was also hard to access. Plus then you had the problem of you receive back the carcass from the slaughterhouse, but where do you market? If you want to slaughter your animals like once a year, you don't have like contracts with the shops where to market your animals. So it was basically you could use it then for your own need. But then if you have more animals, it's not possible that your family would eat like 100 sheep per year or something like that. So it was all sorts of different problems with the marketing. So then we were starting to think, what can we do? We had formed this co-op, and then our first idea was that we want to build a slaughterhouse. But then we did understand that it's not so easy. It's going to cost money. In order to, for example, to get a loan, you need to have a working company. You have to have something to show. So we thought that we will try to start from somewhere. So we like quite many things in our path have happened sort of like due to a quite like I would say good luck because in 2018 in Muhu there was a new shop that was built, and the keeper of the shop, but this is also called co-op, they offered us that they have heard that we have this farmers co-op. Do we want to open a small like a butchery inside the shop? And they offered us the opportunity to have a small room in the back of the shop where we can do the cutting of the meat, and then a place in the shop where we can then sell the meat. But it was quite good for us because we didn't have to have our person all the time there selling. They had their own staff. So basically we brought the meat, we prepared the products, and then the staff was selling the products. So we started that way. We managed to convince the Saaremaa slaughterhouse that we will gather the animals from the farmers, and then we managed to get a contract that we can slaughter every week a certain amount of animals. And we started, I think, with 5 sheep per week. So from every week, the animals were coming mostly from different farms, and we managed to start slowly in this small room in the back of the shop. and we were there around 5 months. And then we managed to have a bit bigger room across the street from the shop where we can already start cutting and packing the meat. And then we also started to send our product also to the mainland, to the shops. So it started quite slowly, but we were moving in a direction that we also want to sell our meat in the supermarkets, because we figured that creating the network of our own shops is not possible for us because of the amount of the product that we were able to produce was so small. So we thought that the best way to go is to sell our product, which was still branded as Muhu Liha, to the supermarkets, and then they will organize the selling for us. And by now, we are in all the bigger shops in Estonia, all the supermarket chains. And we are marketing around 2,000 sheep every year. And we have also our own house now, where we have cutting and packing and storage premises. And at the moment, we have 4 people working full time and preparing the products, cutting. And we also have our own sheep, like a farm, where we buy young rams during the autumn, because during the autumn everybody wants to sell the animals, but during the winter period it's quite really difficult to buy sheep for meat. So we have done now this for 3 years, that we buy animals from the farmers in September, October, and then we keep them in our own farm over the winter. So we have a constant supply of animals to slaughter over the year, because if you have contracts with the supermarkets, then it's not possible to say, okay, we will bring you the meat only like during the autumn, and the rest of the year we don't bring anything. So they want to have meat then every week. So this was the only solution that we could figure out to ensure that we have the sheep available all the time. We are also started now marketing the cattle, and we have now this year marketed 10 animals, and we want to continue to grow this as well, this market as well. This is like a new thing for us, but we want to also expand this and sell also the cattle, because some of the farmers that are in our co-op are cattle breeders, and they are interested in also marketing their cattle through the co-op. So the whole idea is that the farmer can concentrate on their animals, grazing and managing the areas, nature conservation areas, and they don't have to worry about how to market animals. So the co-op is organizing everything from the pickup, the slaughtering, cutting, packing, everything until the selling. So, and the farmer gets the price for the animal that is quite good, I would say, and it is not very, because if we compare the buyers who want to buy the live animals from abroad, it's quite different every year, depending on what is the situation on the market. at the moment, then it can be like for example, this year it was quite high. The price that was offered for the animals, it was live weight around €2.20 per animal. But 1 year back, it was almost euro less. It was €1.20. So it can vary a lot on different years. But because we have the set prices with the supermarkets, we can guarantee that you can have like a steady price for the animals for each year. Of course, there is always opportunity that the buyer from abroad can come and pay more, but most of the farmers realize that it is better to have a steady income for each year and your opportunity to sell your animals annually rather than to earn maybe 10 cents more this year. So it's comes down to the agreements as well with the farmers and the growers. So what else? I will tell you also about the quality label. This year, we decided that we will try to create our own quality label, which is called Läänesaarte, Rohumaa, Veis, Lammas. Now, in the process of creating this label, we have had a feedback from European Commission, or I think it's Commission who is working with this, European Union, that we can't use the so specific area. And now the suggestion is to rename the quality label to Biosphere Reserve Grassland Beef and Lamb. So we have done the changes at the moment, and then we will wait for the feedback now if it's going to be approved by the Commission or not. But the whole idea of the quality label was to describe from one side to the consumer that how are the animals raised, and then this information is available for them to read what are the conditions, where they are growing, what they are eating, how they are slaughtered, and so on. And from the other side, it is also a description for the farmer what are the standards for the animals. There is, for example, a description about how much before you can't give them any medicine, for example, before slaughtering, that you're not supposed to violate the rules for giving medicine before the slaughtering, so that the traces couldn't be found from the meat after. Also, how much before, for example, the sheep should be shared before the slaughtering, because if the sheep have very long wool before the slaughtering, then this affects the quality of the meat because of the hygienic reasons. And also that the animals must be clean, not covered with manure or mud or something like that, because this also affects the quality of the meat if these sort of animals arrive to the slaughterhouse. And also what are the conditions, for example, for the animals, the room where they have to have hay or sawdust or something to put on the ground where they are sleeping, and also that they have to have fresh water available. Especially it is a problematic during, for example, winter, when the water freezes easily, so that the farmer has to check all the time that the animals have water available and so on. So basically it's a description how are the animals raised and that they are following this, that these animals are raised in that manner. And also the areas that they are grazing during the summer period, which is important that they are outside and they are on the species-rich grassland areas on the biosphere reserve or Western Islands of Estonia, which is the same region. And this is the area where the animals are raised. And this is the area that is unique and that is also proven by the studies that the animals who are grazing on these areas, that the meat is with higher omega acid content, which is a good thing for the consumer to know and maybe to prefer than the product that is labeled with this marking. And also you can see here we have it's not yet approved by the commission, but we have got the permission to put it on our products. So we have started, and that also the document of the quality label is available on our website and also on the health board of Estonia. They also have put it on their website, and we are quite confident that we have quite good product. We have also this year, first time we have entered into the competition with our products. We have won the award for the best farm food in protein category for one of our products this year, which is pre-cooked lamb shoulder, which we are very proud of. So the next plan for us still is, as we have been working now for a few years, and we have gained enough trust in the eyes of banks and investors to support us financially, because it's quite difficult to go and ask for loan or support to build a slaughterhouse, which is a quite expensive project if you have just started and you don't really have anything to show yet. But now we are in a point where we have secured the finances to build our own small slaughterhouse on the Muhu Island. And hopefully for the next summer, we are ready to use our own slaughterhouse. We have gone through quite a lot of research while we were doing this project for this slaughterhouse. We have been to different small islands. We have visited modular slaughterhouses, for example, in Finland, where is this picture also taken. We went together with our members to see one of these slaughterhouses. We have also been to Scotland to see small slaughterhouse on a small island that was working quite well. So we are quite confident that we can also make this work. And our main goal is to, first of all, to have a steady access to the slaughtering service and to do it in a way that we want to. There is also an issue of how the animals are slaughtered, because we don't like that the electricity is used in the slaughterhouse that we are using at the moment. We prefer the bolt outcome way of slaughtering. So if we have our own slaughterhouse, then we can decide what is the way also of slaughtering, and also the issues of hygiene, the quality, and so on. And of course, the other main reason for us is also the opportunity to increase the production and to take on new customers. And this means with that we can also have new members, more sheep and beef growers in our co-op, and we can have more customers, consumers. At the moment, we are not able to take on new customers. We would like to expand, for example, to Latvia. We have also already contacts from there, from the customers who would like to buy our products, but because we have limited access still to the slaughtering service, we are not able to take on new customers at the moment. So this is what we would like to do next, and in which direction we would like to go. And of course, we would like to develop more added value products. So we don't sell just raw meat, but more ready products, pre-cooked products, sausages, and so on. So it's something we are also developing and hoping to get better at. So you can also find quite a lot of information from our website. We have Facebook and Instagram page where you can follow and see what we are doing. But at the moment, I think with the presentation, that's it. So you can ask questions.
Aitäh. So, yeah, as Anneli says, lots to think about there. Congratulations, I think, on doing so much in such a short amount of time. So you can, I think there's few in a source. We can, you can switch on your cameras and ask things like that. I'll just giving you permission there. Yeah, can you do it now, Anna? Try it now.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to start then?
Yeah. Congratulations, Anneli. What a fantastic development you've had.
Thanks.
I think it's so interesting to hear and to see all the stuff that you've had, and I have 100 questions. I'll try and take the most important ones. How did you manage the leap from 4 sheep per week to 40, and also buying in live animals? Did you have an investor who helped financially, or how did you manage?
No, we didn't have an investor. We have basically, it has been step by step. And I'm saying that there are a lot of it has to do. Of course, we have worked very hard as well, but that there are many important like turning points that has been due to a luck, I would say. Because, for example, this house, we have a huge building in our use at the moment, and this was quite like accidental how we got hold of it, and it was not a big investment for us, but it allowed us to build our own rooms here. And of course we didn't have investments, but we did write projects which allowed us, because we had support. For example, we have this program called Leader. I don't know if it's also in other countries, but we managed, for example, to build the cutting, storage, and all these premises. We got a support from this program, and it paid 60% was covered from this project. So we wrote the project, because this is my thing. I write projects. I'm very good at it. So I managed to write the project. We got the financing, And this helped us a lot. We didn't have to put a huge amount of money ourselves, but we did start basically like 2 hands in a pocket. We didn't have nothing. We started from zero, and we didn't have anybody coming with a big wallet or anything like that. So it's basically been hard work, projects, and luck. So
another thing that often is difficult for when, especially when you grow from a small amount to a bigger one, is how you distribute, because you said you're now selling to mainland Estonia. How do you get your product off the island and to the customers?
Yes, we have 2 different companies who have cars with cooling, because this is a special temperature product, which is very important, that you need to only transport it with machines that have cooling. And we figured out quite early in the beginning that there is no point for us to try to deliver the products ourselves, because it's extremely expensive. And now we are using already since quite beginning these 2 companies. We have 3 deliveries to the mainland per week, and we have this then, because of all the shops, they want to receive the products in a certain time, in a certain time cap, and so on. So this company is basically, we agree with the shop the time, then we agree with the delivery company, then they will come and pick up, and then they will deliver it to the shop. And now we have grown so much with most of the shops. We don't have to deliver to each shop, but we take the products to the distribution like a center, and then they will take it to the shops. So this is also very good, because it helps us to save money. And it's also easier to pack as well, because, for example, then they will pack it, for example, for the stores themselves. We will put all the products, for example, for one supermarket, they will order, for example, 6 boxes of I don't know, shoulder, and then we will put, and then they will themselves divide it between the stores, which store gets what. But also we also had a great project which helped us. There is because of this I don't know how it is in English. There is this strategy called From a Farm to the Plate, if you heard. Yes. And because of this strategy, there was a funding available for the producers to apply, that helped with the marketing and transport, and also partly salary costs. And we received, for the 3-year period, 200,000 it was 200,000 euros, which we could cover 40% of the delivery cost. It was from without VAT sum. Also, we could hire one person who was a project coordinator, who was then organizing the delivery of the goods, taking the order, so on. And also 90% of the marketing cost. For example, if you wanted to hire somebody who is doing your social media, for example, website, e-shop, also commercials, for example, like in the newspapers and so on. So this was extremely helpful for us, extremely helpful. And actually we managed, we finished the first project this summer, and we managed to get it again now for the next three-year period. We started already with the new project, and this is extremely good thing for us. It's really, really helpful. So
can I ask you more about the marketing and how how much are you talking about biodiversity? I mean, why do people buy it? Do they buy it because they know about the island, because they think it's higher quality, because they're supporting biodiversity or animal welfare? Do you know just curious to know more about the decision making, how people decide to buy it, and how you focus your marketing.
I don't know 100%, but we are using biodiversity a lot for marketing, because I think this is the main thing that is separating us from others. This is our thing, you know. But we haven't done like this studies and asking like, oh, why are you buying the product? I think also the island location and the actual the Muhu, the location where we are, is a quite good marketing brand, because we have other, like for example, we have Muhu bread, which is very famous in Estonia. Everybody knows what Muhu bread is, and if you are using the name for your marketing, this is known to Estonians. I think this is also helping us a lot. And one thing, there is no competition. We don't have a competition in Estonia. There is no, before we started, it was basically not possible to buy local lamb from the shop. Nobody was doing it. And it was basically, you could buy it directly from the farmer when they slaughtered it at home. And then basically you didn't have any other option. If you are a farmer yourself, you can slaughter your own animal, or if you knew somebody who had sheep, and then they will slaughter you one, and then you can get lamb meat. Otherwise, it was not possible. It's possible to buy frozen meat from New Zealand or from Ireland, for example, but not local meat. So I think these are the main three things that is why we are quite successful in marketing. And of course, we have done a lot of direct marketing. Basically, we are contacting the shops. We are trying to get through to the head chefs in the restaurants and so on. It's quite a lot of, Estonia is a very small country, so it's, basically where are the opportunities to sell. So you just have to contact these people and try to get the contacts, and this is how it's working basically.
Anna, short one.
Yeah, another one. Will you, when you get your slaughtery built, are you going to carry on just being on Muhu, or will you go, for instance, and take animals from Hiiumaa?
We already take from Hiiumaa. So this is the map that that is on the label. This biosphere reserve is covering all the Western islands. So we have farmers now from Saaremaa, Muhu, and Hiiumaa. And also there are other smaller islands that are already our customers. So basically it divides from the mainland and the islands. So the animals that we are slaughtering at the moment and that we are marketing are from the islands. So,
but when that happens, or rather it is already, your quality brand, you would need to have maybe some more criteria, no? Or so that they really are raised on this kind of lovely grassland we see behind you.
Yeah, but these grasslands are situated on Hiiumaa, Saaremaa, Muhu. So basically they are quite, I would say, these islands are quite equal with the conditions, the environmental conditions. So this was also the reason why we have chosen only these Western islands, not, for example, the islands on the north, or so this was what we decided at that point. And also because of the logistics, because if we would rather stay here in this area because of it is more expensive to transport animals than to transport the product. So
can I ask a follow-up to that then?
Yeah.
It sounds very much from the story you've told that the growth in the demand is very much linked to your brand, actually. So to Muhu Liha as a brand.
Yeah.
So in that brand, you can control what criteria you have, and of course how you market it, as you were discussing just now. So what then is the benefit to you of creating this quality label? Doesn't that allow, for example, the slaughterhouse in Saaremaa, in Kuressaare, to be your competitor potentially? And you know, what's the logic behind having this different thing which potentially will weaken your brand?
The idea for us was that then we could sort of take in more farmers, because it doesn't then be, because it was we thought that it might be a bit confusing for the customers, because if you look at our brand, then you assume that all the animals are from Muhu, which is not actually true. So we thought that if we explain to the customer that our animals are from the Western Islands and they are raised and grown in that way, and we describe it in a document, and then we put the information available for everybody, and then also the farmers, then they will say, okay, I will join this, and I will be the farmer who produces the animals following these rules, and you will market the animals for us. And then because we need more animals to grow, and the customer, we don't want to leave a wrong impression to the customer as well. So these are, I think, the two main reasons why we created this quality label.
Okay, and I'll have a second question then before Anna jumps in with a third one. So I know there's also an Estonian-wide quality label for beef.
Yeah.
Liha Veis. And beef is a much larger market already than lamb. So do you anticipate that you'll have more difficulty in the beef market? And do you think that your brand is sufficiently distinct from Liha Veis, for example, that it can attract a premium?
Very good question. Yes, I agree with you that it is much harder to enter the beef market, and we have just started it, and it is very hard because there are so many beef cattle producers in Estonia, and the prices are extremely low. It's amazing to me to look at the prices that the beef is available in the shops, for example, from Liha Veis. I don't know how they do it. It's mystery to me. And with the lamb, we don't have a competition at the moment, which is extremely good for us, and we can set the price. Basically, we don't have to like check all the time, oh, what they are selling for, because we are at the moment like leading the market on that. And I know it's gonna be very hard. And we are actually very good in. They have helped us with this quality brand and all the text and everything. We are in really good relations with them, and we don't really want to compete in that sense with them. That it's something like a bad, but I think we are distinct, but I don't think it's gonna be so easy to reach in the same level like they are now. It's gonna be very hard, and I don't know if we will ever be able to do it.
Another maybe too technical and close question, but I'm thinking exactly like you said now that you're leading the market in lamb. Nobody else works much with that. Do you still feel that you need to build a beef slaughtery line in your slaughtery, because it would obviously be a lot cheaper if you didn't?
Yes, yeah, that is a very good question, and we have asked this many times for as well, because exactly like you said, if you put the beef line in, the building has to be much taller, for example, and so on. You have to have more storage to cool them and so on. But we have farmers in our co-op that are also beef growers, and it would be, I think, at the moment unfair for them that we have formed this co-op, and from the beginning we have been like together, beef and sheep, and And now we would say, oh, okay, we will give up the beef. We still will have to try at least. So I think it's a bit like a solidarity question at the moment. So
just to follow up maybe on that, like we had a double act here. When I looked at the Liha Veis specifications, what struck me was that they're not excluding many people really. In Estonia, where there's a lot of surplus pasture, really, if we're really honest. So, and you were saying that brand is associated with good value prices, let's put it that way. So your specification is slightly more demanding, but not much more demanding, really, is it?
yeah.
I mean, what niche in the market do you think you can go for? Do you think there's a high price niche existing in Estonia that you can take advantage of?
I'm not sure. I don't know exactly, because at the moment what we have done with the beef, we have not sell the beef like with like a carcass or with we have made products of it. We have made, for example, we made like hundreds of kilos of burgers from mince for the restaurants in the summer. This was like a huge thing for us. So I think our I'm seeing more that we are making something out of it rather than just selling it as a carcass or like chunks of meat.
And that's how you've succeeded with the lamb, actually, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're not selling much, just raw lamb, if you put it that way.
We are making a lot of products, and this is I think this added value is the way you can actually make money out of it. It's because then you can sell it more expensive. So that's what we are aiming for, I think, in that one.
Sorry, Anna, you wanted to say something?
No, but I was thinking that you're absolutely right that you shouldn't even try to go in for the whole carcass market, because that's too difficult. And also one of your specialities, I think, is that you use these indigenous breeds, the more smaller breeds, and then if you make hamburgers and other products out of them, it's okay that they're smaller and slighter and all the other things.
Exactly, yeah.
And it opens up a possibility for you to make reasonable money out of something that the farmer actually would be paid quite badly for. So
Exactly.
yeah, I think it sounds very clever, and I must congratulate you again, because one thing is your project writing skills. I'm sure that's been really, really good, but also you seem to have clever market sense. So well done. That's all I can say. I'm really happy to hear.
Thanks.
Well, I think that's actually a good place to come to an end. So some people haven't asked any questions, so now is the last chance. Put your hand up if you want a last question. Yeah, no takers. Okay, well, I think, as you can tell from the questions, we've really enjoyed your presentation. It was really, really interesting, and again, really well done on the progress you've made in such a small amount of time. So it will be really interesting to see how you get on now with the new place and Latvia and the expanding empire.
Exactly. Yeah, come to visit us.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I definitely will. Yeah. Okay, so with that, thanks very much again, and see you all in the next webinar. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.